The Sexual Assault Implementation Planning Team started with a clear goal of reaching out and educating everyone from the first-term airman and soldier all the way up the chain to our Adjutant General. We're looking at ways to improve annual training to move beyond the slide after slide of PowerPoint, which, let's face it, no one likes, to a more exercise-based scenario type training. Recently, the new Sexual Assault and Response Policy Letter went out to all the units. Please take a look around your work section to make sure that you have the most recent letter posted. You'll soon see posters with your unit victim advocate's photo and contact information, as well as information about the differences between an unrestricted and restricted report. Two key suggestions made by our IPT group have already gone beyond the Alaska National Guard and is now being considered at the NGB level. One of our team's recommendations is to allow the victims of sexual assault who have had an unrestricted report to opt out of Sexual Assault Awareness annual training. Instead, they would receive optional training to get annual training credit. The other recommendation is to include public affairs training to sexual assault response coordinators. The Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Program is always looking for feedback on ways to improve the program. Preventing sexual assault and responding appropriately and confidentially when someone among our ranks has been violated is everyone's responsibility.
In order to reinforce the Alaska National Guard's equal employment and equal employment opportunity programs, increasing leadership support is paramount. It is important that we ensure members understand their options regarding privilege, communications, and protection from retaliation. Our State Equal Employment Manager, which we'll call our SEAM, has bi-weekly meetings with the Adjutant General. As a result, 7 revised equal opportunity-related policies and a command reprisal prevention plan have gone out to all members of the Alaska National Guard and Department of Military and Veteran Affairs state employees. An Equal Opportunity and Equal Employment Opportunity 101 briefing has been recently presented to our senior leaders. The Equal Opportunity Program is now incorporated into leadership discussions, including the monthly Sexual Assault Review Board, to facilitate the exchange of information relevant to combating sexual assault and harassment. To ensure our program has trained and accessible participants and command-level support for those participants, the Acting Adjutant General signed a directive for appointment for members into key Alaska Army National Guard equal opportunity positions. The Alaska Air National Guard commanders, in accordance with their regulatory guidance, have selected equal opportunity personnel and forecasted their training dates. We are set for tentative dates for a 40-hour Equal Opportunity Leaders course in January. We are working with the Human Resources Office to solicit all full-time personnel who might be interested in becoming EO counselors, and will work to fund those individuals prior to the next course. Everyone deserves respect and dignity afforded by equal opportunity and treatment. The EO team is here to help eradicate employment discrimination in the workplace.
The Law Enforcement IPT has started laying the foundation for a top-notch law enforcement organization within the Alaska National Guard. Our priorities are to stand up a Provost Marshal's office and to create collaborative relationships between local, state, and federal agencies. This is to ensure quick and accurate responses to law enforcement-related matters within the Guard. As an Anchorage police officer, myself and the team have been dedicated to working with the Anchorage Police Department to create the first memorandum of agreement between the two organizations. This memorandum of agreement will be used as a template as we work with other law enforcement organizations across the state. When established, these MOAs will create a clear understanding between organizations to assist potential victims, identify potential suspects, and provide commanders an invaluable asset to help manage the force. Additionally, we have already begun executing the PMO mission by assisting local and state law enforcement in past and current police investigations. The PMO will help to give potential victims the peace of mind that their case will be given the proper level of attention. The most important issue for our fellow Guard members to understand is we are attempting to create a strong bridge with local law enforcement that has never existed before. This will give us the ability to quickly assist victims and identify potential suspects for criminal or administrative action. By doing this, we will create a safer and stronger Alaska National Guard for all our members and our civilian workforce.
The Alaska National Guard is working diligently and aggressively to improve the administration of justice within the state. We have created 2 new full-time judge advocate positions, as well as a military judge. The Air and the Army Guard currently have 11 full-time mobilization day judge advocates. Additionally, we have hired a full-time special victims counsel to meet the needs of sexual assault victims with individual legal representation. We have also improved the process for investigations. The full-time judge advocate takes time to personally brief all investigating officers and provide them with the unfettered access during the investigation. Additionally, all investigations are tracked down to the brigade and company level. Progress regarding adverse action is briefed on a bi-monthly basis. Until there is a statutory framework to administer justice, our number one priority is to use the current administrative and corrective measures to fully and fairly address misconduct that has deeply affected this organization. This involves being transparent in our proceedings and providing guidance at all levels on conduct and consequences. In order to meet the demands of the defense support, the Army Guard will detail an experienced M-Day judge advocate to fill the trial defense service slots. This appointment will take effect near the end of January 2015. The Office of the Staff Judge Advocate is working in close coordination with the Governor's Office and state legislators to review and rewrite the existing UCMJ provisions of the Alaska Military Code.
The Command Climate IPT is the overarching group where all issues, findings, and recommendations in the OCI report intersect. One of our major milestones includes a complete rewrite of the Adjutant General's open door policy. It clarifies the appropriate circumstances for soldiers and airmen to speak to senior leadership when they feel necessary. The new policy was primarily the result of enlisted soldiers who rewrote the policy to ensure it was clear, concise, and readily understood. To date, a number of soldiers and airmen have exercised the new policy to speak to leadership. Another milestone is the creation of the Joint Command Climate Committee meeting. This meeting brings the Army and Air Guard special staffs together with our state senior leadership to ensure they are fully engaged in monitoring the organization's climate. The special staff includes chaplains, our sexual assault response coordinator, director of family programs, the Inspector General, a judge advocate, equal opportunity, public affairs, and our command chief and command sergeant major. The OCI report emphasized a need for greater transparency related to promotion, hiring, and discipline practices. We are focused on rewriting outdated policies to ensure improvements in education, training, and consistency. In cases of promotion, we have found that criteria, eligibility, and feedback were the largest contributors to the perceptions of fairness. Staff has recently updated policies. They will also take on distribution, training, and enforcement to ensure consistency. Our group, along with a few other teams, are looking at our options for posting status of discipline document. In cases of administrative and discipline determinations, this would help us combat perceptions about whether actions are being handled appropriately, legally, and fairly.